Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your NFL Fade the Public video for Week 13 this Sunday, December the 5th. I'm going to give you the four most public sides in the NFL for this Sunday and let you know where the public is heavy this week in the NFL. And you better pay attention. It is heating up just like it did last year. When I started this video in late November last year, we went 30-7, fading the most public sides through the Super Bowl. With the last 5 weeks here on this video, 13-4. Fading the most public sides, including 2-0 last week, 13-4 run the last 5 weeks. We'll see if it continues. I've got four public sides, a big card for this Sunday, December 5th, Week 13, coming up in just a moment. Quick reminder, if you want my official best bets, I don't always disagree with the public. We use this as a filter as part of our overall handicapping process. But if you want my official best bets for this Sunday in the NFL, check out my page at WagerTalk.com. And by the way, we're talking about four sides here, but there's a lot of value with NFL totals. Last week, I had a strong 5% over winner in the NFL. Last weekend, over 60 points scored. I've isolated two more of them this Sunday. In fact, it's the first time ever that I've got a pair of 5% best bets going on the same day in any sport, let alone the NFL. And they both go this Sunday. Two more easy over high-scoring shootouts, and they're both worthy of powerful 5% ratings. And best of all, you can get them right now for a very special price. Normally, it's $35 for a single 5% play. I made a 2-for-1 special, both plays for just $39 this Sunday. It's available right now, SteveMerrillWagerTalk.com. Or if you want to take it a step further, get 3 full days and nights for just $10 more. And that's all sports, including my number one ranked college and pro basketball. We started 32-16 this season, 67% in college and pro hoops after the first month. Don't forget, last year, the first 2 months of college basketball, an incredible 25-7 start. I love basketball this time of the year, and that's why I'm ranked number one once again at WagerTalk.com. Once again, two strong 5% best bets for the NFL this Sunday. Those alone are $39, or get 3 days and nights for just $49, but you must have promo code STEVE49, STEVE 49, STEVE49, 3 days and nights of all sports for just $49 at WagerTalk.com. Steve Merril, ready right now. Hey, let's look at the four most public NFL sides this week for week number 13, December the 5th. First couple games go at 1 o'clock Eastern. The second set of games both go at 4 o'clock Eastern, so it covers both early and late afternoon action. We'll go down in rotation order and start with, at 1 o'clock Eastern, the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis, a big road favorite, laying 10 points at Houston. And as I've often said on this video, it's not necessarily that the public lines up on one team heavy. They've actually gone against the Colts a few times this year. It's more so that they just don't want to play the other team, and nobody wants to play the Houston Texans right now, and it's fully understandable why. They're having a train wreck season as expected, just 2-9. You know, they had a lot of offseason problems, losing quarterback Deshaun Watson with the off-field incidents, and they've never really recovered. Tyrod Taylor will still be a quarterback. They have absolutely no passing attack this year, averaging just 5.9 yards per pass. Even worse rushing attack is why they're so miserable, just 78 yards per game, less than 15 points per game, and it's always hard to back big underdogs, you know, when they can't throw the ball, especially when they can't score, because when they get behind, it's hard to catch up. So it's fully understandable why the public wants nothing to do with them here. Yet, as is often the case, especially later in the season, you hear me say it every week, one of the reasons fading the public works so well, one of the reasons they went 31-7 down the stretch last year, one of the reasons it's 13-4 the last 5 weeks here on this video, is because you give up line value when you play these public sides, and this is a perfect example. The look-ahead bettable line a week ago before these teams last played was going to be Indianapolis -7. Last week, the Colts go out and lose a high-scoring game to Tampa Bay, 38-31. They looked pretty good, though, in the game. They've still won 5 of their last 7. Houston, meanwhile, loses again to the Jets as a favorite. And so the public jumps ship. The odds makers know, and they have to jack the line up to 10 now. So once again, the look-ahead last week was going to be 7. Both teams lost by exactly 7 points at home, and now it's 10. So this is a textbook example of how you give up that line value. But once again, the Indianapolis Colts -10, a very public side on Sunday. The other game at 1 o'clock Eastern that's getting a lot of public love as well is the Miami Dolphins minus the 6 to 6.5. Now, currently Miami is -6, but as we head into the weekend, I see some 6.5s out there. I expect this line to continue to climb. If you like the Dolphins, you want to grab the 6 now, even the 6.5. If you like the Giants, I'd wait and maybe get a 7. I'm not sure that'll show, but there'll definitely be more 6.5s by Sunday. The look-ahead line on this game a week ago was going to be 2.5. Miami was going to be a 2.5-point home favorite. They won big against Carolina. The Giants also had an impressive home outright underdog win against the Eagles. Yet instead of 2.5, the line is now 6, 6.5. The reason, of course, is because Daniel Jones, starting quarterback for the Giants, is now out with a neck injury. He actually got hurt early in that Eagle game last Sunday, but played through the injury. It got worse on Monday and Tuesday, and he is now ruled out. Mike Glennon, journeyman backup. Mike Glennon, a former third-round pick of the Buccaneers back in 2013 out of NC State, will be the starting quarterback. And they picked up Braum from the Bills as a backup now if needed. Glennon's been mediocre at best during his NFL career the past 8 years. 6'6" from Northern Virginia, right down the road from where I grew up, actually. This is a guy that's mediocre at best. I don't expect this to help a struggling Giants offense. And keep in mind, the Giants did fire Jason Garrett a couple weeks ago, and they did get a little bit of a spark with the win last week, but it wasn't on the offensive side of the ball. They won that game 13-7, only had 70 rushing yards, only 194 passing yards. So don't let that win against the Eagles last week fool you. The Giants were not good offensively, and now they're at a backup quarterback. So it's understandable why the public wants nothing to do with them. But it's ironic here because last week we gave you 2 plays in this video. Fading the public won in both of those. The public faded the Giants, by the way, in that Eagle game last week. Yet they also faded the Miami Dolphins. It was a game that just missed the cut. I mentioned it as an additional bonus here in the video. And now the public is right back on track. In fact, 2 weeks ago, they played on the Jets, played the Dolphins heavy against the Jets and won. Last week, they actually faded the Dolphins and lost. They faded the Giants, though, and also lost there. And now we got both teams matched up against each other. And the public, once again, is fading the Giants this week, but now they're on board with the Miami Dolphins minus the 6.5. That game goes at 1 o'clock Eastern. 2 more games on the card, both go at 4 o'clock Eastern this Sunday that are very public sides. But before I get to those, I want to remind you, I do have, for the first time ever, 2 5% NFL best bets this Sunday. Both are over-under selections. Both are high-scoring shootouts. We had the over last week in that Colts-Bucks game that I mentioned, 69 total points, easily over the total. They're in the mid-40s by the early third quarter. I love easy overs. You know, you can win it by the mid to late third quarter and just sit back and watch the rest of the game with no sweat. I've got 2 games I think that qualify this Sunday. They're 2 of the best overs I've seen in quite a while, and that's why I made them both 5% strong best bets. First time ever that I've got 2 5% plays going on the same day in the NFL, especially this Sunday. It's exciting. And I've got a very special promo code. Steve49 gets you 3 days and nights for just $49. Now, 1 5% play is $35. I made a 2-pack, a special 2-pack for both of them for just $39. That's a great deal on its own. But for just $10 more with that promo code, you get 3 days and nights of all sports. If you're signing up Saturday, it gets you the college football. If not Sunday, it gets you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, which you get a lot of college and pro basketball. And keep in mind, basketball's 32-16 start this season. Number 1 ranked at WagerTalk.com, 67%. College and pro hoops, college and pro football, all for one price. 3 days and nights for just $49. Steve49. You must have that promo code, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Steve49 gets you that special 3-day offer. Let's look at the 2 most public sides at 4 o'clock Eastern. And the next game we're going to talk about is a team on a 3-game losing streak straight up, a 5-game losing streak against the spread. They're laying double digits, but guess what? The public is still heavy on them, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. Once again, though, I think this is a case just like the Houston game we talked about earlier, where it's not necessarily that the public is on the Rams. They're just not playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars, along with maybe the Jets, have been probably the 3 most non-played teams all season, and for good reason. They're not good teams. The public has been smart to stay off them. Jacksonville 2-9 straight up, just 4-7 against the spread, getting no public love this week. It's interesting, the look-ahead line on this game a week ago is going to be 12. Rams go and lose outright as a road favorite at Green Bay. Jacksonville, meanwhile, loses outright as a slight home dog to Atlanta, and the line goes from 12 to 13. So it's even higher now that the Rams still have not won in nearly since last month. And really had not won a game, actually, to be technical, since October 31st. The Rams did not win a single game in November, 3 losses and a bye. Yet the line's a point higher than the look ahead, and the public is still backing them. Normally you'd say, hey, this is a big bounce back spot for the Rams. They're not going to miss the opportunity to smoke a weaker team. But winning the game is one thing. Winning by more than 2 touchdowns is another. Now, Jacksonville, like Houston earlier, has absolutely no passing attack, and that's been their problem this year. They do run for 5 yards per carry, a much better rushing offense than the Texans, yet both average less than 16 points a game, both struggle to throw the ball, and that's why they're struggling. But, you know, if you were to look at this game a month or 2 ago, you would have said this was a real flat spot for the LA Rams. This would be what we call a sandwich situation. They're coming off Tennessee, San Francisco, Green Bay, look ahead at Arizona, and then Seattle and Minnesota and Baltimore after this. This is the epitome of a sandwich flat spot. But once again, everything's different when you've lost 3 in a row, so LA might not overlook this game. Normally, I would say they would. We'll see if they do or not. But once again, the LA Rams a very public side at -13. That goes at 4 o'clock Eastern. And then at finally 4:25 Eastern Sunday afternoon, the San Francisco 49ers are now a very public side. And it's interesting because people didn't want much to do with them about a month ago when they were struggling. They lost 3 out of 4 straight up in ATS heading into the first week of November. But they have since gone 3-0 straight up and against the spread the last 3 weeks. A couple weeks ago, the public was heavy on them against Jacksonville. Once again, an example of just not playing the Jags. And that actually on the surface looked like a flat spot for San Francisco, like I just mentioned for the Rams this week. And the 49ers, it didn't matter. They went in there and smoked Jacksonville 30-10. That, of course, was following the big 31-10 win over the Rams on Monday Night Football. And then last week, they actually caught Minnesota in what I thought was a bad spot for the Vikings and took advantage 34-26. In fact, my free play on my page at WagerTalk.com was on the Niners last week, minus the 3 against Minnesota. That line closed as high as -4, actually. By the way, I do have a free play on a game we didn't talk about here on my page right now at WagerTalk.com for Sunday Pro Football. So go check out that bonus NFL free play on my page. And while you're there, don't forget to use promo code STEVE49 for the 3 days and nights for just $49. But once again, bonus NFL play for free on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. The 49ers, though, this week could be in a little bit of a flat spot. They have a game against Cincinnati next week, but no, it's a divisional game, so this isn't a flat spot. But what we have to look at once again is the lack of line value. And I keep going over that every week here. The reason fading the public works in the long run is because you give up line value, especially late in the season when every key number is so much more critical. These lines are sharper than they were in September and October, and that's why fading the public works so well in November and December through the end of the season. And this is an example of that. The look-ahead line a week ago before either team played their last game was pick'em. Now it's 3.5. And this is really interesting. In fact, there's a couple spots I look at for look-aheads. One had it pick'em. The other one actually opened Seattle as a 1.5-point favorite. Within about 6 minutes, a week and a half ago, it went to pick'em. So we'll say the look-ahead line was pick'em. And then a day later, it went to -2 San Francisco. So even before the teams played, the Seahawks went from a slight favorite, even pick'em, to a 2-point dog. But then after the results last week, or this past week, now it's 3.5. And we all know how critical 3 is. It's the most key number in all of sports betting when it comes to the NFL. On or off of 3 is worth almost a 10% difference. And Seattle, of course, did not look good on Monday Night Football. It was their third straight loss straight up and against the spread. A 17-15 loss at Washington. 49ers, meanwhile, as I mentioned, 3 straight wins and covers. So now instead of pick them to -2, the current line is 3.5, crossing that key number. So you've obviously given up some line value with the 49ers, but the public doesn't care. They still like San Francisco this week. San Francisco 49ers, a public side at 4:25 Eastern. So once again, the 4 most public sides for Week 13 on December 5th, this Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. Indianapolis Colts -10, Miami Dolphins -6 to 6.5. And then the 4 o'clock Eastern late afternoon games, the public likes the Rams -13 and the San Francisco 49ers -3.5. There was one other game that just missed the cut I wanted to mention to you. It's not an official public play, but it's one I was taking a look at because it was getting some public love, and it's kind of interesting to talk about real quickly, is the Arizona Cardinals. That was probably the last cut that didn't make this video here. Public likes Arizona a little bit at -7.5, which is interesting because they have not announced if Kyler Murray will be healthy, and they said he's a game-time decision. And we saw him scratched a few weeks ago, of course, and that line moved several points near kickoff. So I don't really think this is a true public play, but it was one that was popping on some of the sources I look at. The public does look to be back in Arizona -7.5. The Bears, by the way, announced on Friday that Justin Fields is out with a rib injury. Once again, Andy Dalton will make a start. He started the Thanksgiving game, had over 300 yards passing at Detroit. He will start again this week. Andy Dalton starting for the Bears, but the Cardinal quarterback, a game-time decision if Murray can go or not. Yet the public is showing a little bit of a lean towards Arizona -7.5. The look-ahead line a week ago in that game, by the way, was going to be 7, so not too much of a difference. Although 7 is, of course, a fairly key number. So once again, your 4 official public plays for this video: the Colts, the Dolphins, the Rams, the 49ers. Hope you found this information useful. Once again, the public's not always wrong. They've been wrong quite often the last 5 weeks. 13-4 fading them here on this video, including 2-0 last week. But use it as a filter. It's part of the overall handicapping process. And of course, if you want my official best bets, be sure to go to my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out those 2 strong 5% best bets. First time ever this Sunday that I've had 2 5% best bets in any sport on the same day, and it's the NFL this Sunday. Get them both for $39, or get 3 days and nights all sports for just $10 more with promo code STEVE49. including my number one ranked basketball, 67% this season at WagerTalk.com. Hey, give this video a thumbs up, a like if you found it information useful. Be sure you're subscribed here to WagerTalk TV. And if you want instant alerts every weekend when this Fade the Public video is posted, click the bell. Don't forget also my college football top 25 video is posted here on this channel as well. 5 big top 25 matchups for Saturday. If you're joining us a little bit early here, catching this video on Saturday. If not, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, hit the thumbs up, the like, and most importantly, leave me some comments below. I read each and every one comment. I love my comments. I read each and every one of them, and I reply back to all of them. I want to know your thoughts on these public plays, where you agree, where you disagree. Let me know who you like this Sunday in the NFL as well. Like, subscribe, comment below, and most importantly, enjoy the games this weekend. Best of luck. Be sure to check back every day right here on WagerTalk TV for more information. Until I speak to you again soon, best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.